Here we go, week 5 in the NFL, and Madden finally has a bounce back week. I mean, Madden finally got another one right to improve its record to 2-3, and it's time to see if Madden can keep that streak going with today's game. You'll see in a little bit. I have chosen the Buffalo Bills versus the Los Angeles Rams as my game of the week. Two teams that have early stages in the NFL season. We're a little over a quarter of the way through the season, and the Bills and the Rams could be pushing for the playoffs. The Bills started the season off 0-2, losing close games week 1 and 2 against, I believe, the Ravens and divisional foe, the New York Jets. But then things turn around. They fired their offensive coordinator, and week 3 they blew out Arizona in Buffalo. And then last week, yes, believe it or not, the last week where the New England Patriots were Tom Brady-less, the Bills have done something that we haven't seen over almost 25 years. About 22, 23 years. The New England Patriots get shut out by the Bills, and the Bills are riding high at 2-2 and have momentum on their side. While the Los Angeles Rams return, spend the last 20 years in St. Louis. They return to LA, where they called home for years and years. They started the season 0-1, getting shut out by divisional foes San Francisco 49ers, and just everyone was like, great, nothing new, new city but same old shitty team. But wait there, folks, the Rams have rolled off 3 in a row and are tied for first place in the NFC West. So, everything, they're on a 3-game winning streak. Buffalo's on a 2-game winning streak. Kind of unexpected start for both teams, but to some degree, not surprising and unexpected. Can the Rams keep their momentum going, or can the Bills stomp another win on their ticket? So we'll see and find out. I think this will be an interesting game. That's why I picked it as my game of the week. We'll look over, look at the games that are being played this week. 4 teams are on a bye. We just had Thursday Night Football wrap up with San Francisco hosting Arizona. Arizona held on and got the W, got back on the right track to improve 2-3, but can't say the same for San Francisco, who started the season with a win and have lost now 4 straight. But 4 teams on the bye this week. We got Jacksonville, Kansas City, New Orleans, and Seattle. Excuse me. But before I get to the games, standings entering week 5. Last week we had buys start kicking off, and now we're in the middle of the bye weeks. I just think week 5 is still too early. Maybe week 6. But week 4, week 5, no, they're too early to do buys in my opinion. But it is what it is. But anyways, let's take a look at standings around the NFL and any surprisements. I mean, starting off in the AFC East, we have starting off in the AFC, we'll do with the East. We got New England, surprise, surprise, no, not really, 3-1. They started the season 3-0 and just got surprised by Buffalo in Foxborough. I don't think anybody would expect, the Bills or anyone to go into New England to shut out the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots barely lose in Gillette Stadium, and to get shut out, I mean, that's more big of a surprise. So, I mean, and they finally get Tom Brady back this week, which, he's had plenty of time to rest, to get prepped. The, 40-year-old, almost 40-year-old? I mean, fewer games. It will be impressive to see how he does. But we got New England at 3-1, Buffalo at 2-2, with a head-to-head win over New England. New York Jets are 1-3, and Miami is 1-3. Two teams, the Jets and Miami, who were hoping to make that next step along with the Bills this year, are at the bottom of the barrel there and are 2 games behind everybody else. But on the plus side, the Jets do have a win already over Buffalo, so if the time comes, the Jets got that slight edge. Move on to the Western Division in the AFC. No surprise, one of the 3 teams that are still undefeated in the NFL, the Denver Broncos, defending Super Bowl champions, are on top of the West at 4-0. Now, to some surprise, for some, maybe, but for others, probably not. The Oakland Raiders are standing tall at 3-1. They're right behind Denver. They're breathing down Denver's neck. And the young team from Oakland, for how much longer, we don't know. We might be calling the Las Vegas Raiders next year. Are just that much closer of making the playoffs. I want to say for the first time since 2002, since they were in Super Bowl 37. I mean, a franchise that has suffered a lot since then, since their glory days. But I mean, they were built to win, and win, baby.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group.
But we got the Raiders in second place in the West, followed by Kansas City in third and San Diego at 1-3. The Kansas City, no, not surprised. Who they played so far? San Diego, I say yes. Yet again, they can't close out games. Excuse me. That's what hurt them last year. And just San Diego is a plus 13 on net points. So how does a team that's 1-3 be plus 13 on net points? They really throttled whoever they won. Moving on to the North. No surprise here. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they're on top of the North, 3-1. One of the last undefeated teams, Baltimore. I don't think it's a surprise. Last year, I would say was a surprise for the Ravens. Having their first winless season under Harbaugh and Joe Flacco. But they were beat up, they were banged up, they were hurting, and just couldn't. I mean, the AFC North is one of the best divisions in the NFL. I mean, it's sad that they have the Cleveland Browns in there that throws off the scale a little bit, but, with the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Bengals, one of the toughest divisions. But Ravens are 3-1, just lost for the first time last week against the Raiders. So playoff time, that's going to come and hurt. But Cincinnati, the team that I really like to win the North, they're at 2-2. They bounced back last week, beating Miami on Thursday night, wearing those all-white uniforms. It would have been nice to see them wear white helmets, look like white Bengal Tigers, but you know what? NFL says you can only wear one helmet all year round, which is for safety purposes. But anyways, Bengals, they're at 2-2, and the lonely Cleveland Browns, at the moment, the sad thing about Cleveland, because the Cavaliers won the NBA championship and the Indians are in the playoffs, which they were taking on Boston Red Sox tonight. And just for a fun fact, they did win to take a 1-0 lead in that series, best of 5. But Cleveland, RG3 gets hurt week 1. So we'll see how Cleveland bounces back, if that. You know, maybe they're trying to get that, you know, since they traded the number 2 pick to Philly. Philly drafted Carson Wentz. Now, let's be honest. Do I really think Carson Wentz would be performing as well as he did or is with Philly, with Cleveland? Probably not. 2 totally different teams. But Cleveland is the only winless team so far, and so far we do not have every team beating everybody quite yet, or possibility. So Cleveland brings up the rear in the North at 0-4. And finally in the AFC, the South. I don't think it's a big surprise. They are the defending AFC South divisional champions. The Houston Texans are 3-1 on top of the South. I mean, they did lose J.J. Watt for the season. That's going to hurt them, maybe. But if their offense can just keep on producing points, they should win the South. But the rest of the division is 1-3. Jacksonville, they took on the Colts last week in merry old England, and they get their first win of the season and hand Indianapolis their 3rd loss of the season so far, and Tennessee is somewhere in the middle at 1-3 as well. So the AFC South at the moment, Houston has a runaway, but last year they were one of the worst divisions, and it was like, who wants to win it? We move on to the NFC side. We start in the East, and like I said before, Denver Broncos were one of 3 teams left undefeated in the NFL. Well, the surprising Philadelphia Eagles, they are undefeated at 3-0. They had their bye last week. They got their buyout done out of the way, and now they're raring to go. But Dallas, Tony Romo-less. But with 4th or 5th round draft pick Dak Prescott has filled in that role with ease, and Ezekiel Elliott, their new favorite running back, they've brought Dallas up from last year. I think they're 1 win away from their win total from last year. I forget what Dallas finished. I think they finished 4-12 last year, but they're 3-1. They're right behind Philly. They're breathing down Philly. They should be 4-0 in my mind. But you know, you can't. You know, ifs and buts are candy and nuts. And then you got Washington and New York Giants bringing up the rear at 2-2. So division not quite wide open in the East. Defending champions, Washington still in there, and New York still has a shot. But all depends on Odell Beckham's temper, I guess. Moving on to the West, like I said before, these St. Louis Rams, or the team formerly known as St. Louis Rams, I should say. I mean, I've been around for 28 years. I've always known them as the St. Louis Rams, but you gotta get used to the Los Angeles Rams of Anaheim, formerly of St. Louis. They are 3-1 on top of the West, with the tiebreaker over Seattle, who is 1 loss and 3 wins. They are both 3-1. Their 1 loss coming against Los Angeles a few weeks ago. But then you have Arizona Cardinals and the San Francisco 49ers, who just played tonight. Arizona was 1-3. They are now 2-3. Get the first win for Week 5, while San Francisco, after starting the season 1-0, has now lost 4 straight. Just things aren't going Chip Kelly's way in San Fran. But I mean, they've played some close games. They lost a close one to Dallas last week, but Dak Prescott's just a better quarterback. Anyways, we move to the north. The third and final team that is still undefeated. And it's hard for me to believe or whatever, are the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, when Teddy Bridgewater, I mean, sad story, I mean, devastating, blowing out his ACL, dislocating his kneecap. I mean, people thought, you know, they were downhill. And then week 2, Adrian Peterson tearing his meniscus. They thought they were done. But, you know, when Bridgewater went down, crazy trade. They trade for Sam Bradford, trade away the first-round draft pick, trade away a conventional 4th rounder in 2 years. And it's not their offense, it's their defense. Their defense. Mike Zimmer as head coach, he is a defensive wizard, and that's the only reason why they're 4-0. Okay, I'll be flat out and say it. That's the only reason why Minnesota is 4-0. It's not their offense, because their offense can't really produce 2 points. But it's their defense that is preventing teams from scoring. So we'll see when time comes if they start getting into a shootout, if their offense can keep pace. But yet the real question is, what happens? You know, their defense would have to be off on an off night for that to happen. But anyways, enough with the Vikings. We move on to my team, my beloved Green Bay Packers. They are 2-1 at the moment. Their only loss came to Minnesota week 2 at their new stadium, the U.S. Bank Stadium. It was only a 3-point loss. Divisional. I mean, if Buffalo can go into New England and shut out the Patriots, I mean, the Vikings can beat the Packers at home. So at their new rowboat or whatever. But anyways, Packers 2-1. They were the other team besides Philly to have their bye last week. Packers needed it. Packers needed it. They were beat up. They had like 8 players injured in their last game that they played against Detroit. And now, I mean, that was their first home game, and they got 3 more now at home. Almost all prime time. 2 prime times and 1 late afternoon game. But then you got Chicago and Detroit bringing up the rear. Chicago getting their first win last week over Detroit, and both of them are 1-3. So it's a 2-horse race right now in the North. While in the South at the moment, only one team reigns supreme, and that was the team that started the season a year ago at 5-0, but floundered and only finished 8. The Atlanta Falcons, they are on top of the South with a 3-1 record, while the other 3 teams, Tampa Bay, defending NFC champions Carolina, and the New Orleans Saints, will bring up the rear at 1-3. Tampa Bay beat Atlanta week 1 in a shootout. Close game. And since then, Atlanta's been on a roll. Last week, Julio Jones, 300 yards receiving. Matty Ice, 500 yards passing. I mean, I know they played Denver this week in the Mile High City, so it's going to be a tough one. But Carolina, I mean, they just lost to Atlanta. They were the ones that gave up those 800 yards. Wow. Sorry, but There we go. LA. Oh, they're going to get him. But Carolina, Cam Newton, he got hit in the head. He's in the concussion protocol. We don't know if he's going to play this weekend. I mean, safety first. But New Orleans, I don't know. I don't think I'm surprised that they're 1-3. They lost to a shootout to Atlanta in week 3. Yeah, week 3. So, I mean, and Tampa Bay has just floundered since their win over Atlanta week 1. So, I mean, I don't know what to say about that. But there you go. There you got it. Those are the standings. Be moving on to who plays who this week in a little bit. Like I said before, the byes. There are 4 teams on byes. Jacksonville, Kansas City, New Orleans, and Seattle all have the week off. Their weekend, some afternoon football, relax, maybe go to their alma maters, all those players, enjoy some college football. But anyways, keep watching this, take a little break, and I'll be right back with who plays who this week.
Come back and get them the next time.
Now Keenum throwing on second. This will be caught at about the 6. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now first and goal.
That was a nice completion on an out route, and those types of plays are the result of arm strength by the quarterback and timing by the receiver.
They come up in an offset eye. Now whistles and a flag down. I think one of the Rams linemen might have moved.
Offense. Still first down.
Okay, and we're back. Let's see, at the moment, I mean, I saw LA just blocked a field goal and returned so far. Now, can they get the touchdown? Oh, jeez. Todd Gurley hasn't been as effective so far this year. But anyways, games. The games that are happening this weekend. I mean, week 5 just kicked off with Arizona at San Francisco. Week 1 because I thought Arizona was on the downfall. Carson Palmer was out with concussions, but apparently didn't matter. Arizona showed why they are the defending NFC West champions and the NFC runner-ups from last year. They took care of business in San Fran, or should I say Santa Clara. But anyways, we have this week, we have New England at Cleveland, Philadelphia at Detroit, Chicago at Indianapolis, Tennessee at Miami, Houston at Minnesota, the New York Jets at Pittsburgh, Washington at Baltimore, Atlanta at Denver, Cincinnati at Dallas, San Diego at Oakland, the Buffalo Bills at Los Angeles Rams. Sunday Night Football, the New York Football Giants at the Green Bay Packers. And Monday night, Tampa Bay at Carolina. Now, last week, so far, I have not have had a winning record when it comes to picking football games, because there are some that, boom, just flat out get wrong, but other ones, it's just like a nail biter and just lose at the very last second. Like, I picked Indianapolis over Jacksonville last week. Jacksonville won by 3 points. But like, But like Kansas City at Pittsburgh, I really thought KC's defense would step up. How Pittsburgh struggled against Philly in week 3, but no, that I just flat out wrong. I should have known better. But so I went 6-9 last week. My overall win to loss record is 27-36. So I'm 9 games, 9 games under 500, which I'm hoping time will finally get on my side. So let's start off. Well, I'm already 1 game behind, so I'm already 27-37 because I picked the 49ers for some stupid reason over Arizona. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't want to know what I was thinking. But let's start the week off with, I'm hoping is an easy one. New England at Cleveland. Cleveland is winless. Cleveland is crap, and Cleveland won't see at least a win for 1 more week. New England, you just get Tom Brady back. He finally, Deflategate is finally over. He should have served his 4 games last year, and we wouldn't be still talking, in my opinion. To some degree, I would love to see him go to the Supreme Court, but I mean, not saying the Supreme Court listens to real cases anyways, and so forth. But anyways, Tom Brady's back. Patriots got humiliated at home, get shut out for the first time in almost 25 years, give or take a year or two. And that last touchdown drive, a good mix of they go on the road. Defensively, they just looked a little out of whack. And it's so I mean, I would be shocked if somehow Tom Brady is just throwing interceptions. New England coughs up the ball. They just turn it over, and Cleveland just pulls one out of their butt somewhere and be like, hey, we finally won. But you know what? No. New England, I mean, if this game was at New England, oh my gosh, I don't think there would be a football team left in Cleveland. I don't think there's still going to be a football team left in Cleveland after New England comes into town on Sunday. I can see a lopsided victory because Bill Belichick is upset. Tom Brady's upset. He's raring to go. He wants to hit Gronkowski. He wants to hit Edelman. He wants to hit whoever and keep, get not just 7, not 14, not 21, not 28, not 35. I would not be surprised if Tom Brady throws 8 touchdown passes, to be all honest. I mean, I'm going to call it right now. Tom Brady breaks. He's going to have 5 touchdown passes by halftime. And he'll be pushing for 6. But no, he's going to play all 60 minutes. I'd be surprised if Cleveland scores more than 20 points, and that's pushing it. But if I had to put a lock on something, this would be the game that would put the padlock on, turn and throw away the key. New England over Cleveland. And I'm sure most people feel the same way. And Cleveland fans, Brown fans, they'd be like, hey, sure, you beat us in football, but we beat you in baseball. I find a little irony there that the Browns are taking on the Patriots while the Cleveland Indians are taking on the Boston Red Sox in their best of 5 series. So, but we move on. This next game, I was thinking about making as the game of the week, but I decided not to. Philadelphia at Detroit. The only reason why I was leaning towards that way is because former Detroit head coach Jim Schwartz
And that was filled by a big man wanting to
is
make
now
it
the
tackle.
defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. And what Philly did against their in-state rivals, the Pittsburgh Steelers, was amazing. I mean, they shut them out. Well, not completely, but they took control. And it just like, what, Philly just might be for real. But only time will tell if Philly's for real. I mean, right now, Carson Wentz hasn't thrown an interception. They're a much better team than the Chip Kelly led Eagles. But I mean, the Eagles didn't post a losing record, if I do believe, again when Chip Kelly was head coach for 3 years. But they are much slower pace offense. Carson Wentz, flawless. People comparing him to Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers, which is a compliment. And I don't think you could say more with that. Ooh. Detroit, week 1, they get the win in Indianapolis. But since then, bad loss, close loss to Tennessee. Almost had a comeback against Green Bay, but had their 24th loss in the state of Wisconsin in the last 25 years or so. And then lose a close one to another divisional rival against Chicago. They're at Detroit. They have home field advantage. But the thing is, Jim Schwartz knows Detroit, and he would do nothing. He would not enjoy anything better than go up against his former team and beat them, at least defensively, because Doug Peterson is the head coach, who is doing a great job, and to be all honest, could be potential coach of the year. Taking Philly, no offense to Mike Zimmerman, or Zimmers, or whatever his stupid name is, or other coaches out there. I mean, Doug Peterson taking a team like Philly and starting to see with rookie quarterback, almost, Sam Bradford was going to be. Would they be the same? Who knows? Probably, maybe. But Philly goes into Detroit. Defense rules the day and takes care of those pathetic Lions.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game.
Next game on the docket. A Super Bowl 41 rematch. The Chicago Bears at the Indianapolis Colts. Where to begin? I mean, Chicago is beat up. They are beat up. They are battered. They are bruised. They just put their first-round draft pick wide receiver from last year on IR yet again. Jay Cutler, he's hurt. They got to use Brian Hoyer at quarterback. Not saying Jay Cutler is any better, but Chicago's beat up. I don't know how many guys I think I've heard they're on IR or injured reserve, but Chicago's a beaten and battered team. On the other side, Indianapolis. They're 1-3. And Andrew Luck isn't so lucky. Yes, he's a good quarterback. He's a great quarterback. But that's only if he has protection. If he had a front line to protect him. I mean, that's what I kept hearing, is that they haven't built around Andrew Luck. I mean, sure, T.Y. Hilton, I feel like an idiot not knowing the guy's name. But I mean, he has weapons to throw to, but if you don't have a front five to protect him, I mean, he won't get the ball off in time. I mean, Indianapolis is the home team. They have a good shot here to bounce back, but to be honest, I feel like Indy is going to fluster. They're not going to win the South. They're going to have another losing season. Chuck Pagano is going to get fired. Their general manager is probably going to get fired, and they're going to have to start rebuilding all over again. Do I see Chicago? I mean, I like Chicago in this game for the fact that how Brian Hoyer played against Detroit last week at home. They can move the ball. Indianapolis, I think this is going to be one of those close games that it could go either way. Whatever the spread may be, go with the spread. And if you're a betting man, go with the spread.
And Carpenter knocks it through.
But I got to go with Chicago. I think Chicago, with their first win of the season, they got a little momentum. They're going to hand Indianapolis another loss. Indianapolis is going to go 1-4, and questions going to start. Do we keep Chuck Pagano? Or do we just get rid of him? I mean, it was 4 years ago. 4 years ago was when Pagano, I can't even say his name right. I think he suffered from leukemia. He was sidelined for half the season, and Bruce Arians stepped in. I mean, it's glad that he's living a healthy life, I believe. But I mean, I don't think he's going to be living in Indianapolis for much longer if this keeps happening. Tennessee at Miami, where the game might be relocated because of Hurricane Matthews. I mean, it's already the second weekend their first weekend in October. Excuse me. Well, it will be the second weekend. I mean, the first was last Saturday, but second weekend in October, and we're still talking about hurricanes. I know hurricane season is officially from May 1st through the end of October, or the first week of November. But Hurricane Matthews might disturb this game. They might have to move it, relocate it. So that might bring a little difference there. Miami's technically the home team. I mean, they almost built the roof on the what now? Hard Rock Cafe Stadium, like the 50th license or name property for that stadium. I mean, for the most part, I always know that stadium as a Pro Player. Then we also had like Land Shark. I forget what it was like last year, but it's just as bad as 3Com. It has gone through so many naming rights. But anyways, I do like the renovations that they did in Miami though. The new canopy with the hole brings back memories of Dallas's giant hole in their stadium. The uncompleted dome, but I mean, this was more the cover shading anyways. But Tennessee, Miami, two teams that are trying to find their second win of the season. Miami get a new head coach. They fired Phil. Now I already forget his name. Anyways, it doesn't matter. He got fired halfway through the season last year, so it doesn't really matter.
Let's take it at around the 40.
But they picked up the Bears' former offense coordinator, quarterbacks coach, one of the two, and has only mustered one win. They had a close game week one against Seattle, but nothing really since then. Well, they did get a win there against Cleveland, where Cleveland should have had their first win, to be all honest, but their kicker missed it, and Miami won in overtime. And Tennessee, they got their win because Detroit just likes to get penalized for everything.
10th carry now from McCoy.
Woo.
And they go backwards here.
This is a tough one. It's two losing teams. Who wants it more? I would have to go with home field advantage, but even knowing that the game might be really relocated, I don't know where. I still like Miami in this one. Like, Miami is the better team. Tennessee, it's like, I gotta play the sympathy card here. It's like I would like to see both teams win, but I don't know. I'm going to stick. I do have Miami. I'm going to stick with Miami, but I'm sure I'm going to be regretting it later, because that's a tough one to pick between Tennessee at Miami. Finally, for the first time, Minnesota, they're taking on Houston. That's the next game now. Minnesota plays their first noon game at their stadium. Their first two home games were Sunday night and Monday night. And with their new stadium, half the roof is glass. And they have 4 giant glass doors that, like, the world's largest swinging doors or whatever. And I hope it's nice and sunny in Minnesota. I want to see that sun shine bright through. I might sound a little bitter, and you know what? I have every right to be bitter and so on and so forth, being a Packer fan. I'm not. It's like the only way. I don't know when or where I would actually root for Minnesota, to be all honest. But for me, Minnesota is a hard team to root for. Even, like, I go with NFC first if the Packers aren't in it, but if it's Minnesota, it's hard for me to root for it. I'm just throwing that out there. That's just who I am, like it or not, like it or love it. Houston, I'm still not convinced. They are 3-1, but I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, sure, they got beat by New England in New England on Thursday night. I mean, taken. Okay, that happens. But I mean, Houston, who would they play so far this season? I mean, they beat Chicago week 1, they beat Kansas City week 2, and they beat Tennessee last week in close ones. This one, it's supposed to be power of the defenses.
To throw on second down is Keenum.
And Minnesota hasn't given up more than 17 points. I think. So it's going to be interesting, this game. It's going to be battle of defenses, and I do believe if Minnesota falls behind early. Okay. I mean, the most points Minnesota has scored is 25, and that was week 1. They've scored 25, 17, 22, and 24. I mean, if Houston can somehow get past Minnesota's defense. The defense, the most points they've given up is 16. That was in week 1. Then they've given up 14 and 10 and 10 the last 2 weeks. It's their defense that's carrying Minnesota. And by default, I would have to say Minnesota. But in the official record book, I'm going with Houston. Mainly because they haven't played at noon at home. They've played on the road. They played at Tennessee, open venue. They played at Carolina, open venue. But I want to say at home with their stadium might cause some trouble. But just looking at Minnesota's schedule, I might have to do that game next week. I've already done 3 Minnesota games with Madden. That's only if they both Minnesota's at Philly in 2 weeks. In next week, and that's going to be an interesting match, especially if Philly's undefeated and Minnesota's undefeated. And I might have to put man to the test, but we'll see what the other games are going on. Oh wait, that's not next week. That's in 2 weeks. Minnesota has a bye after this week. Yeah, Minnesota is on bye week 6. But anyways, if Philly can stay undefeated and Minnesota wins next Thursday or Sunday, Sunday, which I'm hoping not. I mean, yes, I'll flat out say it. I'm stubborn with Minnesota, but you know what? I'll give it up for Minnesota. It's their defense that's playing great, that's leading this team. But I just don't think if Houston or whoever, if the other team somehow starts scoring more points, that's when Minnesota's going to fall. But anyways, I'm going with Houston because I just don't like Minnesota. That's flat out. Anyways, we move on. We got the New York Jets at Pittsburgh, and baby, I don't know how you don't like Pittsburgh, especially at home. I mean, their one loss so far was at Philly. Philly won because they had great defense. Last week, I really thought Kansas City was going to keep Pittsburgh at bay because of their defenses. No, I should have known better. Pittsburgh's at home. You got Le'Veon Bell back. You got the basically an infinite wallet filled Antonio Brown, who likes to get fined, likes to get flagged for having a good time. And I might get on that in a little bit. But like the Jets, they lost a close game week 1 against Cincinnati, missed an extra point or a field goal here and there. But they went to Buffalo. They took care of their old head coach Rex Ryan and the Bills. They're on top of the world. They're the greatest team ever. And then they just started to tailspin. Woo. Went to Kansas City week 3, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, the Harvard graduate under center, decides to throw 6 interceptions and be like, maybe it wasn't smart of me to sit out. Maybe I should have signed with the Jets earlier than when I did. But it's like, nah. I was so awesome last year. I'm the only quarterback they need. Geno Smith, There's no way they won't sign me and start him. They'll sign me. I'm a high caliber quarterback. It's like, no. They got beat up by Kansas City. And then last week, they just lost by 10 points against Seattle. It's like, if you had to choose between the Jets and Seattle, if it was the Jets, if the Jets were a better team, it would have been a closer game. But you had Russell Wilson, who was practically hobbling throughout the entire game, hobbling around, and he still beats you. So who do I like? New York Jets, Jets, Jets against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. I'm hoping this is another no-brainer, just like New England versus Cleveland. You have to go with the City of Champions, Pittsburgh. And I'm not a big Pittsburgh fan, but when it comes to this, I have to pick Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh just all over the Jets. I would be surprised yet again. But knowing my luck, the Jets, Fitzpatrick will have a clean game, won't throw an interception, has like 4 touchdown passes, and just gets carried off the field on their shoulders like, yay! But no, Pittsburgh at home, it's going to be hard to pick against them, especially at home.
So a second down incompletion now brings
Now we have the Battle of Maryland. Washington, Baltimore.
from the gun,
Tough
Taylor.
game. I think could go either way.
And incomplete. He had nowhere to
All-
throw, so he
all
just
honest.
tossed it away.
Oh, honestly,
It's up fourth.
Washington, they are 2-2. Baltimore just suffered their first loss. They are 3-1. But the thing is, with Baltimore, they their first 3 games, they just barely won. They beat the Bills by 6 week 1. They beat Cleveland. Then I forget who. They beat Jacksonville week 3, and then they lost to Oakland this past week. It was, they won 13-7, 25-20, 19-17, and they lost by 1 point last week. They were 1 point away from staying undefeated. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be a close one. Washington started the season 0-2. They lost they lost to the Steelers at home on Monday night. They lost at home against Dallas. But then things started turning around. They beat New York Giants at New York. And they beat Cleveland at home, but let's be honest, who can't beat Cleveland? Come on. It's the Browns.
Gotta give credit where it's due. Really
And
nice
now they're
defense
taking on their
that
in-state
play,
rival
pitching catch
from the
was successful,
AFC,
but not
the
really
Baltimore
going after it.
Ravens. Tough one. But you know what?
And they're
In a
6
tough,
yards away from
close
picking up the
matchup,
first here on second down.
I gotta go with Baltimore. Somehow Baltimore, all their games so far have been close. I mean, last week I simulated Oakland at Baltimore. Madden said Oakland would win. Oakland did win. But yet it was still a close game. It was only a 1 point margin of victory for the Raiders.
So 1 yard to go
But
here
I
on
think
third down.
Baltimore, by their skin of
One
their
man in the
teeth,
backfield, that's McCoy.
they will win. Baltimore
He'll get
will
the
host
football here.
Washington,
A minute 15
and that
to go
they
in this
will
first
they'll
half
hang on
of play.
and win.
We're
They will
back to
improve to
the city
4-1,
after this
stay
timeout.
pace with the Steelers, who will also be 4-1, and increasing their lead in the AFC. I mean,
At halftime, in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando, where
let's
Ridley is
see.
standing by. He'll have
Ooh,
highlights
this is a
and
good
analysis
game.
of
This
the
is
first half.
I think
Here's Colton Schmidt
might
now,
give
as they
Denver
kick it
a
away
run
the
for their
second
money.
time.
It's going to be a tough one. Atlanta,
There's
3-game
Burrow
win
go
streak.
out of bounds. I think it'll be inside
Denver,
the 25, and it will
4-0,
right at the
defending Super Bowl
24-yard
champions.
line
This is a
where they'll
rematch
stop.
of Super Bowl
Now out on the
33.
field, here comes Los
But,
Angeles. And that last drive,
how many people
long
actually,
drive, but not
Super
just
Bowl
that, they
rematches,
had a
blah,
great
blah, blah.
air attack going.
I mean, last year, that's what they were emphasizing all the time. But anyways, I mean, Dallas and Pittsburgh, they'll play each other sometime this year. That's going to be a Super Bowl rematch of what, Super Bowl 30 and whatever the ones from the 70s. But anyways, Atlanta at Denver. The question becomes, can Atlanta stay hot? Last time Atlanta was that hot is when Sherman burned the city down in the Civil War.
Throwing on first down is Keenum.
But
Over the middle,
Atlanta,
it's Austin.
Matty Ice, 500 yards passing.
And it'll be a second down.
Julio Football Jones, 300 yards receiving. I mean, that is ridiculous. And for the most part, it's catch and run. I mean, you're lucky that they don't do stats that way. Or they only,
Keenum to throw on
wherever the
second
quarterback
down.
and the receiver catches it,
Over the middle.
at least they add the catch and run as part of receiving yards and passing yards. That'd be interesting, or a weird stat. Like, oh, the quarterback only threw for 5 yards, but then the receiver rushed for additional 20 yards. If there was two different stats like that, they split. That'd be awkward. But anyways, Atlanta at Denver. Tough one. I mean, Denver, they're only 4-0 mainly because of their great defense, but because of the offense finally making scoring some points, I should say. I mean, Trevor Siemian has done a great job. I mean, he got hurt last week. He's expected to play this week. But, I mean, their backup, Paxton Lynch. That's it. It'll be interesting. I mean, we go back. Denver, they won 21-20 against Carolina. 34-20 against Indianapolis, 29-17 against Cincinnati, 27-7 against Tampa Bay. But Atlanta is not Tampa Bay. Atlanta is not Cincinnati. Atlanta is not Indianapolis. Atlanta is not Carolina. I mean, Denver, they get to play against the NFC South this year, and this will be their third of 4 games. Their fourth opponent against the NFC South isn't until November 13th. Which is, I find, very interesting. It's always funny to see how the NFL schedules their games. There's like, was it like Tennessee? Or was it, no, it was, I'm thinking of Detroit. They played, like week 1, the NFC South played the NFC North. All 4 teams played against all 4 each other. But anyways, I'm smelling upset alert here. I think it's time to find out if Atlanta is for real or they're just a pretender. And last year we found out they were just pretenders. They went 5-0, and then after a 5-0 start, they went 3-8 the rest of the season. They missed the playoffs, finished second in the South, and it's like, what happened? But you know what? Like I said, I smell upset. This is one of my few upsets besides, say, Houston. It's going to be a fun game to watch. This is going to be a great game, I'm hoping. But like I said, I'm going with Atlanta. Cincinnati at Dallas. Cincinnati has been on the downfall as of late after starting the season. They won. Then I think they lost. They won and lost. They've won and lost every other game, I believe. No, they won their first game against the Jets, and they lost at Pittsburgh. They lost against Denver, but then they beat Miami last Thursday night. Now they go to Dallas, where Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, the rookie duo. This is going to be another one of those games. I mean, Dallas isn't known for their defense. But after falling 14-0 last week, Dallas was able to get out of their hole, come back and beat San Francisco. But yet, that is San Francisco. You know, Dallas is home. They play a good team in Cincinnati, who I do like winning the North, but it's still early in the season. But it's not going to be early for much longer. In the next 3 to 4 weeks, we're going to be halfway through the season. And to be honest, it's about this time of the year we find out, okay, who has potential to make the playoffs and who does not. When it comes to Dallas hosting Cincinnati, both these teams have a good shot at making the playoffs. I think, though, it's going to be harder for Cincinnati to make the playoffs, especially how Baltimore and Pittsburgh have started their season at 3-1, and Cincinnati already lost to Pittsburgh. They're in the hole. And I think this is a great time for Dallas to make that step forward. I mean, Tony Romo, he might be coming back, but the real question is when Tony Romo's healthy. do you really go back to him? Especially how Dak Prescott is playing. All honesty, I say you stick with Prescott. You know, you stay with him. And you have Romo as your backup. And you mentor him. And you mold Prescott. And next thing you know, Dak Prescott might be holding up that Vince Lombardi trophy. But I like Dallas in this one. Dallas beat Cincinnati. They go 4-1. And only be a game behind Philly. And when those two teams face each other, I'm pretty sure I will do that on my simulation. See what man likes. So what is we got? 17-6 Los Angeles over Buffalo at the half. Woo! Close game, sort of. 11-point difference at the half, but next game, another afternoon game. We have the San Diego Chargers taking on the Oakland Raiders at Oakland, an AFC West matchup. Woo! I mean, San Diego, where do I start with them? They can't hang on to leads, they can't close out games, and they just can't win. Well, Oakland is the opposite right now. They can find ways to win. Jack Del Rio takes that risky call, either go for 2, either go on 4th down, or whatever, to get his point across to get the wins now. And sometimes it pays off, and sometimes it doesn't. And so far, it has paid off. Oakland is the home team. Oakland is the favorite, and Oakland wins. San Diego, I mean, it's just mind-boggling. I mean, they're a good team. They're a pretty good team, but they just can't hang on to the W when it matters or close out games. It's sad, and it's just who knows. But Oakland, they win. End of story. This game that's going on right now, Buffalo at Los Angeles. I don't know. If I had to choose which one is a pretender and which one is a contender, I almost think Buffalo is more of the contender and Los Angeles is more of the pretender. But in the end, they might both be pretenders, for all I know. And it's tough to pick because I see Buffalo as a more high-power offense in that they can score tons of points. But because that's what they did against the Jets and then what they did against Arizona, but they lost against the Jets, but they beat the Cardinals. Last week they only scored 16 points, but hey, a shutout is a shutout. And then they only scored 7 points against Baltimore and lost by 6. So LA on the other side,
and this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback.
I think they're still more of a pretender than a contender, for sure. I mean, they were shut out against San Francisco Week 1, 28-0. They only scored they only gave up 3 points against Seattle Week 2, but got 3 field goals. But then got in a shootout against Tampa Bay, 37-32. They beat in their divisional rival Arizona, but that's the thing. They lost to a division rival. They beat a divisional rival. Lost to won a team that's on the rise, sort of, but still near the bottom of the barrel. And then they beat another divisional rival. So now the real test comes along, hosting a contender, you could say, for the AFC East. But in all honesty, probably not. And at the moment, Madden likes Los Angeles. But I like Buffalo. I just think Buffalo is going to do what San Francisco did against Los Angeles. I think Buffalo is just going to air it out. Sure, they don't have Sammy Watkins, but you know what? He hasn't been a big a threat anyways. Buffalo is just going to take it to LA and just score points after points after points. But I think if it becomes to a shootout, LA might have a shot, but I got to stick with Buffalo.
Back to the workhorse today. It's Gurley. And the hole closes quickly.
And then, yeah, Todd Gurley, he really hasn't done much. I mean, sure, he's scored 2 touchdowns in this game, but what he's done in real life. Sophomore slumps? I don't think so. I just think teams can make that adjustment after actually seeing how players play in the NFL after their rookie season. Oh, jeez. Okay, Sunday Night Football. The New York Football Giants at Green Bay. The Green Bay Packers have just come off their bye, 2-1. Hopefully well rested, all healthy. Hopefully get their star cornerback back. They won't get their big offseason acquisition, Jared Cook, back for at least a few more weeks because of that high ankle sprain. But the big story of the week is the New York Giants wide receiver, Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, 2 weeks ago, we saw that temper tantrum. I mean, we saw him. We saw this last year. Last year when Josh Norman was with the Carolina Panthers, he was bumping, running with Odell Beckham. And Odell Beckham, he just more or less, he had a mental breakdown. He broke. And I mean, cornerbacks are known, DBs are known to get in the wide receiver's head, to get, to psych them out. It's like, and last year between those two, a fist fight broke out. And, all honesty, both players should have been ejected from the game, but weren't. But Beckham is now, besides in his rookie season when he made that incredible one-handed catch on Sunday Night Football against Dallas, which is about his only, in my opinion, his only claim to fame. I don't really feel like he might be a top 10 wide receiver out of all the wide receivers, but do I feel like he can go in the Hall of Fame as one of the greatest of all times? No. Odell Beckham Jr. is overrated. And one thing that's going to hurt him is right now is his attitude, his behavior. Is when people get in his head, he has he just breaks down mentally. Because against Washington, he's upset. He takes his helmet. He hits the place net that kickers use to practice kicking. Hits that with his helmet, and the thing comes back, hits him in the head. I mean, it's a funny video, and I mean, that's what you get. And then last week, he gets pushed around. He gets by Xavier Rhodes, and he gets unsportsmanlike. He should have been thrown out of the game, but his behavior is ridiculous. And now he's saying he doesn't find it fun playing football anymore and stuff like that. And it's like, you know what? He needs to work on his behavior, his attitude, I mean, this happens in the NFL every single game. I mean, but do you see any other wide receivers? You see any other wide receivers be like, leave me alone, and have that mental breakdown? No, not really. You have to I mean, psyching out is the name of the game on defense. Getting in your opponent's head and just making them think they suck. And Odell Beckham Jr., I don't really, I mean, yes, he has some great numbers his first 2 years. He was held to 23 yards, a career low last week against Minnesota. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, all honesty, I hope the Packers don't go to that low. I feel like the Packers are a better team than that. But hey, Packers have one of the worst DBs, secondaries in the NFL. And, Odell Beckham Jr. has a good shot to bounce back. But hey, if Green Bay can get an early lead and their defense, I mean, Green Bay has the best run-stop defense in the NFL.
They'll throw on first down with Taylor.
So, I mean, in the first 3 games that Green Bay has played, no team, I mean, I think they averaged giving up a 3.1 yards, or no, that's 1.3 yards, I think. So, I mean, they have a great run-stop defense, but the thing is, they're still being slow to get to the quarterback. They give up big yards. So, I mean, the Giants receivers might have a great day. But in the end, Green Bay is at home. They have 2 more home games after that one. And I'm going to go with Green Bay. I mean, there's no way in hell I'm not going to go with Green Bay. Okay. Speaking bias, one bias is I'm going to pick the Packers 9 times out of 10. About the only time I may not pick the Packers is if they truly do suck or in the postseason.
That's that wrestling background he has. He understands leverage as anyone in the game. A big-time wrestler in high school.
Eli Manning, he's still trying to look for win number 100, but he's going to have to wait at least 1 more week. Because Green Bay at home is a tough team to beat. And the only thing that's going for the New York Giants is Green Bay's secondary sucks, and Green Bay hasn't been that successful on prime time. Their last prime time victory was, if memory serves correctly, was that Thursday night game against Detroit on the Rodgers to Rodgers Hail Mary, and prior to that was week 2 last year, home against Seattle. Oh, Buffalo! Just like that. Woo, the Bills are making a comeback here. But one more game on the docket. It's the Monday night game. Divisional rivals, Tampa Bay at Carolina. The question becomes, are we going to have another protest outside of Bank of America Stadium? I think that's where they play at. But I don't think it matters. It's a battle of 1 and 3 teams defending NFC champions versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you know what? I think it all depends. It all depends. If Cam Newton gets to play, I think Carolina wins. If Cam Newton doesn't play him, they have to rely on Derek Carr. I think Tampa Bay can, smell an upset. Because Tampa Bay is right now, Tampa Bay is 1-0 in their division. Because they beat Atlanta. Hot Atlanta. Then who they lose to? They lost to Arizona, they lost to Los Angeles, and they lost to Denver. So, I mean, and those are 3 good teams right now. So, and, I mean, beating Atlanta week 1, amazing. but Atlanta's been hot since. So it's going to be interesting with at Carolina. I think, like I said, if Cam Newton plays, Carolina wins. If he doesn't play, Tampa Bay, I'm going to say wins. And you know what? This is my other upset. It seems like every week I always change my mind. And I don't think for the most part it has gone so well. And you know what? Like last week I was watching Mike and Mike and they were saying relax or panic. And everyone says Carolina should relax. You know, they have great set talent, blah, blah, blah. But like teams like Indianapolis, panic. Arizona, panic. I forget who else they had, but I don't know. This is a tough one for me. You know what? I'm going to stick with Carolina. I'm going to stick with Carolina. Not have that second guess. Stick with my gut feeling and go with the Carolina Panthers. So there you have it. Those are the games this week. Oh, we got it's 17-12 LA with 6:47 left in the third quarter. So we still have a little over 20 minutes to play still. I mean, on some bright notes, if there are any. I mean, my fantasy team. Woo! Got 2 fantasy teams. My Yahoo. I'm tied for first place at 3-1. I don't know how. Just like Atlanta, I started the season with a loss, but then have won 3 straight. I'm sure if, honestly, if I played the right players week 1, I could have won week 1 and be 4-0. But you know, who goes and looks in the past?
Really well done.
But for the most part, we'll sit back, relax, have too much. I mean, okay, it is October. And the one thing I found surprising for like the first time, I don't know in how many years, because I don't know when they started. They started it, but this is the first time in October in 6 years.
So it is third down now,
that the NFL teams, like usually the NFL and many organizations, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, okay? And for like the first time, and like I said, I don't know how many years have not decided to wear pink. I'm sure they're still there. Like I saw San Diego last week. They had pink in their end zones, and I don't know if they were wearing gloves and so forth. But for the first time in at least 5 years or so, they haven't worn pink. They didn't beat us to death in pink. Like the breast cancer awareness and all that, that's fine and dandy. I'm nothing against that. But when they shove it down your throat and like every month, pink everywhere, pink jerseys, pink yellow flags, pink hash marks, pink first downs. It's like, so okay, you don't give a fuck about breast cancer all year round, so you gotta make it up once a year by wearing pink 24/7 for 31 days. It's like, it's a good cause, but let's tone down the pink, please. And like, all of a sudden, no one's wearing pink. So, I mean, I don't know what the NFL decided to do this year. So it just surprised me, and it's like, and for the most part, they usually hype it and all that. And that was the other thing. You haven't heard a thing about it. So
one hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Feeling like they're not quite in field goal range yet. They're going to go for it on fourth. Keenum to throw for it on fourth. He finds his man. It's Houston. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the first down. He'll wind up getting 11 on that one. And they're able to pick up the conversion here on fourth down.
We always talk about big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments. I think that fourth down qualified. That was a heck of a throw.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. The one running back is Gurley.
Well, by the looks of it, I was just reading,
They go play action here
saying
on
that
first
now
down.
instead of the whole
Finding
month,
time.
it's
And
like
he's gonna
one
drop
home
this off to
game.
his fullback.
Teams will wear
Give him
pink.
3 on the play, and it's a second
So it'll be
down.
interesting if that's true. Like I'm happier with that. Seeing only one home game, or every team having a home game within the month of October, and wearing pink once, because like just reading how November is part of Salute to the Service program, where they wear a decal of all the armed forces.
Here we go with 2nd and 7.
So, but I mean, at least they're not drowning us in pink.
Throwing again is Keenum.
But
Surveying the field.
And
he's just going to get rid of
good
this
cause,
to no one
you
here.
know,
He throws it away, and now
keep
it's
it up.
3rd.
Oh, yeah, that was one thing I mentioned earlier. Antonio Brown, yet again, gets fined. He got fined this week $24,309 for his end zone celebration against the Chiefs. And, like, at least in the NFL, you can still celebrate. In college football, more or less, that's been outlawed. A little disappointing. Like, I think it's the few that ruined it for the rest of everybody. And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Antonio Brown is going to be dancing until the end of his career. He was fined $6,000 or so last in the season opener. I know he got fined the week prior. So I don't know. Antonio Brown, apparently, he don't care. He's also been flagged, I think, on those touchdown celebrations as well, which could hurt their team. But hey, they're winning. If they were losing, I'm sure their coach, Mike Tomlin, would say something different. But I don't know. Week 5 will be interesting. All sort of great games. But obviously, I'm running out of stuff to say. So I'm just gonna sit back, relax, see how the last 16, 17 minutes of this game turns out. If men can pull out yet another victory and pull even, it would be, I'd be so happy. But it's just sit back, relax, enjoy the final minute 40 of the third quarter and the last quarter yet to come.
Another pistol look here. They'll start on the ground with McCoy. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. He lost 6 there on the first down play.
I know the focus is LaShawn McCoy here, but the defense is doing a really nice job. He's nowhere near his normal yardage total in this game.
Yeah, such a prolific rusher, well up over 6,000 for his career. How have they kept him down?
Well, a lot of gang tackling, getting to the point of attack with a number of people, not creating any creases or cracks for him to find his way through. Because you know, with that agility and vision he has, he can always pop a big run.
One man in the backfield. That's McCoy. Now Taylor to throw. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Short of the sticks after that completion, and now it's third down.
So what we got? Buffalo is looking on a 3rd and 4 with about 25 seconds left in the third.
From the shotgun, it's Taylor.
Ooh, nice first down.
The first down as he's up to the 45.
But I'm pretty sure that'll end the third quarter. They're still down by 8.
Move forward.
Nice job by the offensive line, giving them time to complete that first down pass.
I think this will be a close game. But I wouldn't be surprised if Buffalo just blows LA out of the water. It's going to be tough.
3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
So 20-12 at the end of the third. Close game.
Back now in Los Angeles. The Bills have the football, but they trail here as we begin quarter number 4. Now Taylor on first down.
Ooh, plenty of time. Finds his receiver who tiptoes along the sideline for 4 yards.
And that'll make it second down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd went to ballet school. Got the toes down.
So Buffalo 2nd and 6. Taylor, plenty of time. Hits his receiver only for a gain of 2. 3rd and 4. Big 3rd and 4 down, especially early in the 4th quarter for Buffalo. They need this first down, keep the drive alive. They can afford to give up the not get it, but it's going to hurt them in the long run with time ticking away.
Completed pass on 2nd down. Now it's 3rd down as the defense looks for the stop.
Big 3rd down, 14 minutes and counting. Hunter in motion. Tyler takes a snap. Oh, wide open for the first down and more. First down, Buffalo.
Yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
So Buffalo gets the first down at LA's 40, 13, 20, and counting left. Oh, Taylor. Oh, he's under pressure. And he gets sacked at the 47, 48-yard line. Loss of 7 yards. Oh, the Bills could not afford a sack like that.
From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it. But it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific
So
athletes.
now it is 2nd and 17.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage
Bills
defensively. Now Taylor to throw on second
Oh,
down.
finds his receiver. Oh, he spins away from one. Oh, breaks another tackle, but gets. He is shy of the original first down marker by a yard.
Nice gain and a
So it's
broken
still going to be
tackle along
third
the
and
way,
long.
Really, we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
Ninth play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on third and long. Out of the gun, it's Taylor.
Hits his receiver. Oh, he gets the first down more. Woo! If he didn't step out of bounds, he would have had a good yardage.
I know you can't really see it, but that play spells frustration with a capital F for the guys on defense. They covered
Shady
everyone else,
McCoy
ended up going to the running
gets the
back
great
out of the
catch. If he
backfield
didn't
and
step
picks
out
up
of
a
bounds, he
backbreaking
would
first
have
down.
few more yards. But it is what it is. They got the first down. That's what matters on this drive with 11:53 left in the game. Buffalo on the move. It's 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line. No running backs, all spread out. Taylor, he's under pressure, gets rivet. First down and more. He's down at the 6-yard line. Hunter, 4th reception, 93 yards, and a touchdown on the day. Bills, I mean, they would have to go for 2. If they get the touchdown here, it's 1st and goal at the 6. They get the touchdown, they got to go for 2. They tie the game and put pressure on LA.
Defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get off the field.
I mean, the a false start penalty on Buffalo. That's going to cost them. I mean, the Bills, I'm sure they're happy it's just a 5-yard penalty, but just imagine this play, 1st and goal at the 11 now. If a holding penalty happens, they're backed up to the 21-yard line. Another false start maybe, or a sack. It'd be 2nd and forever. Let's just hope that doesn't happen. Tight. They hand off to Shady he goes absolutely. He loses a yard for 2nd and goal at the 12.
It's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys.
I mean, the Bills, this is their best opportunity to show momentum.
And fire out and create some space in the run game.
And now for the offense, this is play number 11 here on this drive.
Oh, spread out, gets rivet. Oh, down to the 4-yard line. 3rd and goal. The real question becomes, with 10 minutes left in the game, the Bills go for it on 4th and goal, or they just kick that field goal and pull within 5. They still need a touchdown one way or another. Jumbo. Oh! Another false start on Buffalo. As they gain yards and then they back themselves up, Rex Ryan would not be happy. But you know what? They feel like a penalized team anyways. 3rd and goal now at the 9. They need 9 yards, just 9 yards to break the plane. Probably end up getting like 12 or 13 if they get the touchdown.
They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right.
See, Taylor takes the snap. Plenty of time under pressure. Down at the 1-yard line for 4th and goal. I say they gotta go for it. They gotta go for it, and they go for it. They make it. They go for 2. I mean, it shows you mean business.
Doesn't do them much good. Likely the play of the game here.
Yeah, they're going for it. 4th and goal with about a little over 9 minutes left in the game. Taylor, it looks like they do hand off to Shady McCoy. Shady McCoy stopped. It's turnover on down. 20. Ooh, really. Shady McCoy cannot break the plane. He doesn't jump for the touchdown. He doesn't shimmy. He doesn't shake. He just gets, that's a straight up stop. LA takes over on down, but this might be a blessing in disguise. Buffalo, I mean, they're just 10 yards backwards away from a safety. 10, 11 yards. They wrap up Shady. I mean, Shady got wrapped up. Case Keenum, he can get sacked. Todd Gurley, he could get sacked. I mean, the only thing you don't want to do if you're LA's Case is fumble the ball in the end zone. And, ooh, only give up 1 yard. I mean, big mistake on that last drive for Buffalo. They take 5 minutes, 6 minutes off that clock. And what happens? 2 false starts inside the 10 for first and third and goal. And what happens? You blew your shot. So now we go 2nd and 8. Another handoff to Gurley. Gurley gets a few more yards, gets to the 7-yard line. So it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and manageable for the Rams with 8 minutes on the clock and ticking. Buffalo just ruined their shot just a little bit ago. I can see them. Oh, pass play. Oh, drop. That would have been a big 3rd down play for LA. Bills, they can go for a block here. I mean, LA blocked a field goal attempt earlier. This is Buffalo's shot to block a punt. Get either 6 or 2 on the board. I would think they would want 2 because then they get the ball back. But 6, they'd be 2 points away from tying it. So 7:47, ball's at the 7-yard line. I'm pretty sure pressure will be coming. There's the snap. He gets the kick away. Whoa, he's back at the 22-yard line, his own 22. Gets up to 40 and stopped at the 43. The Bills, they're not looking so good. 7:37 left. I mean, they took a lot of time off on that last drive, but they went nowhere. They went for it in 4th and goal at the 1, which I felt like a good decision, but they didn't get the points. That's what matters.
Maybe some extra juice for them as this drive starts.
So hopefully they can turn things around. Those false starts did hurt them. So here we go. Play action, and he goes down, sack. A loss of 9 on the play. It is going to be 2nd and 19 for Buffalo. And that is going to hurt. Those defenders weren't faked out by that play action, and he gets sacked, wrapped up, and mounted. Buffalo with 7 minutes or so left in the game. They need to go 65 yards or so.
On 2nd down, here's Taylor.
Taylor airs it out down the field. He gets his receiver. He's down at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Buffalo. A 66-yard touchdown pass from Tyrod Taylor. We are only 2 points away from a tied game. Buffalo. Woo! What a... Didn't see that coming. And, here's the pylon can. Yeah, he crossed the goal line. It's good. So here we go. 2 yards, 2 points away from a tied game.
Now an important conversion attempt here as the Bills line up to go for 2.
Jumbo set on the left. Will they hand it off to McCoy? Will they play action? Will they throw it? Taylor, he goes. He throws it in the middle of the end zone and incomplete. He had a wide open Shady McCoy to his left, who would have just walked in if he looked to his left. So now the Bills are down by 2. 6:51 left in the game. That block field goal is important, and he throws it to nobody. He throws it to nobody in the end zone. Bills still, though, have all 3 timeouts, just like the Rams do. Like I said before, 6:51 left. Bills will be kicking off. If their defense plays great, I mean, Bills can still get another shot, but this time they only have to get 3 and not 8. Rams are waiting back deep.
Here's the Bills kickoff unit now as they
Here we go, run up in the kick. It's a beauty. It's a short one at the 9. And he makes one defender miss, but he gets wrapped up at the 23-yard line. The Bills are looking to put a stomping, to put their defense. Rex Ryan wants to show why he is a defense genius, but only time will tell. I mean, both these teams have winning streaks going into today's game. Los Angeles have won 3 in a row. Bills 2 in a row. LA just needs to get some first downs and run out the clock. They got to play conservative. They got to play smart. Time management. Bills, they need to more or less force a takeaway. And Gurley gets wrapped up in the backfield, loses a yard or 2.
The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on.
Time is ticking though. It's 6.5 and counting.
Keep it going. But you got to figure now they're going to see more.
I mean, that's what LA wants to do, but the Bills want time left on the clock. Oh, they just show that they don't need much time. Blown coverage, Bills can attack just like that. Here we go. Keenum takes a snap, drops back, playing time, he throws that ball away. 6:05 left. Big third down, huge third down. Bills looking to prevent a first down, force a punt. LA just wants 12 yards. Get that first down, keep the clock ticking. If anything, it'd be a win if LA can keep that clock ticking. Takes a snap, plenty of time, throws it. Oh, deflected, incomplete. 6 minutes on the dot. 4th and 12 at the 21-yard line. LA will need to punt it away. Bills, here's their chance. If they do what they did in the beginning of this quarter, they'll be going home with a W. LA is hanging on to the slimmest of margins. Here we go. The snap and the kick is away. Oh, he catches it about the 13. Wrapped up at the 19.
And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Rams defense heading back onto the field. And a tight ball game here, and in these close ones, every drive becomes magnified.
So LA has a 2-point lead with 5:53 left in the game. Buffalo gets the ball at their own 19. They only need to go about 60 yards for a decent field goal range to go up by 1 if the field goal is successful. They spread out, 1 in the back besides the quarterback. Play action, plenty of time. Tyrod, he throws a deep bomb down the field, and it's in and out of the hands. In and out of the hands. Was that Woods?
Could really hurt their momentum.
I mean, Bills are ready to put the nail in the coffin. He had it, and he was past his defender. If he would have caught that, came down, he would have been prancing in the end zone with 6. Woods, yes. That was a big risk on first down, but you do that on first downs. That gives you 2 more downs to try to get the first.
Second down following the incompletion.
That was a big play. Taylor had all day. There we go, split eye now.
Here's
Handoff,
Taylor.
no play action. It's rid of it. It's caught though, but there's a flag. Face mask? Are we going to see 15 extra yards? Personal foul, face mask on the defense. 15 free yards for the Bills. That is costly for LA.
That's going to cost him 15 yards.
And it's such a dangerous play. Body going one way, and then your head gets yanked back the other. 15 yards.
It's
is the
never
right
fun.
call.
It's never enjoyment seeing someone grab the face mask and yank it, twisting someone's neck possibly. It could not end well. But 5:40 left and counting. Bills get 15 free yards. They're at the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Now
Takes the
Taylor on
snap,
first down.
gets
They got a man
rid
over
of
the
it
middle.
quickly,
It's
only
Woods.
gets a gain of
It's a gain
5.
of 5, and it'll
So
make
we
it
have second and 5
down.
at the 41 with
And there they went
5:20
crossing
and
route
counting.
against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're
Close
throwing it
game,
in
close
front
game,
of the
close
zone.
game
Sometimes
we
you're throwing
got
it
going
between the zones.
on.
Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the
Oh,
quarterback.
just threw ahead of his receiver, brings up a big 3rd and 5 with 4:52 left. You would have to think Buffalo might go for it on 4th down. They just might. But with all 3 timeouts,
Offense in that middle ground
it's
here on
safe
third
to
down.
punt
3rd and
if they don't get the the first down.
Taylor will throw again.
Taylor throws off his foot and is incomplete. 4th and 5, 4:49 left. Buffalo needs to make a decision. They're down by 2. They're at their own 41, but yet they have all 3 timeouts. Nearly intercepted. I mean, you go back to that big bomb that was dropped.
Here's Colton Schmidt now.
So
as he'll
they're
punt
going
it
to
away
punt.
for the 4th time today.
The question is, will Buffalo ever see the ball again? Nice kick towards the right side.
Now Austin.
Gets at 20. It's up to the 35-yard line.
That time. And the Rams will go on offense here with the 1st and 10. And now out on the field, here comes
We got
Los
4:42
Angeles.
left.
Out in front last time
Buffalo
they had the
down
ball.
by
We'll see if
2.
they can add to their lead now.
LA is looking to ice this game away.
Put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
There we go. Hand off to Gurley. Gurley has a huge hole, but only gets 5.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
But the big thing that matters is the clock is ticking. Tick, 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 tick.
2nd and 5.
Tick, 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 tick. Spread offense again.
Another carry now
Oh,
for
Gurley has all day.
Austin.
He gets a
And he'll be
first down
taken
and just a little bit more.
46-yard line.
But that's all that
It's a
matters.
pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. And Gurley having a big day, and they're winning. It's that's a big reason why. 2012, his freshman year at Georgia, first game he was a backup. He came off the bench, 100 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, 100-yard kick return. He started every game in his career set. And he should have, because he is one of the most dynamic forces to enter the NFL.
3:30 and counting. Buffalo might have to start using timeouts.
Now
Gurley, he gets the first down and more yet again.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be first down Rams.
All the elements of what you want out of a play came together on that one. A really nice run, took care of the football, and even more importantly, taking the clock under 4 minutes now. At this stage of the game, how do you bleed out the clock?
I mean, we look back, Buffalo had their chances. The 2-point conversion failed. The blocked field goal attempt. The drop, big pass. All day, Keenum throws it. It's caught. No, they say incomplete. I think this might be reviewable if the Rams really want to, but it doesn't matter. 2nd and 10, 2:37 left in the game. Ball at Buffalo's 44-yard line. They just need to get that clock going to get down to 2-minute warning. There's a handoff to Gurley. Gurley gets 6-4.
Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism. They created some nice
2-1. We're at the 2-minute warning.
Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So it's Rams football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Big 3rd down. Big. Unless LA decides to pass the ball, Buffalo will be forced to use a timeout. And or if for some reason Los Angeles runs out of bounds. Big 3rd down. Game's on the line more or less right here. Keenum decides to throw. He has a wide open receiver down to the 18-yard line. Bills forced to use one of their 3 timeouts. So we're at 1st and 10 at the Buffalo's 18. The Rams, I mean, they could secure the game with a touchdown or a field goal, forcing Buffalo they need a touchdown then. Minute 55 left in the game.
Again, we'll see the pistol here.
Oh, another pass play.
Looking for someone to throw to.
And he throws it away. I think that's a big mistake right there on 1st and 10 under the 2-minute warning. They need time. They need Buffalo to use their timeouts, not give Buffalo chances to hang on to those timeouts. But who knows? There we go. Hand off to Gurley. Gurley is for a moment. Now he's stopped in the backfield. Loss of 2 timeout Buffalo.
That'll be their 2nd, so one more chance to stop the clock here, and we'll be back. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready.
So 3rd and 12 at the 20.
9th play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on
yet
3rd
again.
and long.
A big 3rd down.
They come up in an offset eye. Now a handoff for Gurley.
The Gurley is stopped. Buffalo uses their last timeout. 4th
down now.
down.
And play
Question
stopped here. Timeout.
becomes,
It's the defense calling the timeout here. That'll be their third
would
and
LA
final stoppage here
risk and
as
go
we
for
step
it?
aside. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action.
I wouldn't think so. LA, 4th and 3 at the 11-yard line. Minute 39 left in the game. The field goal will put them up by 5.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And
Up
Zerline's
and-
kick is good.
Good.
High fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So they get the 3 here, but you wonder whether that's going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, you've now made it so they need a touchdown rather than a field goal to catch them. But you're right. If they'd gotten 6 out of that drive, this would be a much different game.
Bills have no timeouts. They need a touchdown. They need a touchdown.
After the made field goal, Zerline back out there now to send this one away.
Booming kick.
This
Buffalo
be
will
taken to the
take a
back of the
knee.
end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. The Rams defense, we watch them get set to go. And they'll see if they can get one final stop with this crowd behind them.
And let's face it, as much as we want to say it's all about the guys on the field, they can get some help right here from the home crowd. And they're going to try their best to get them motivated, get them involved. But they're going to need to make a play or two in order to keep them in that spot.
The crowd's making some noise now.
Minute 36 left. Buffalo has the ball at their own 25-yard line. They need to go 75 yards for some points and for the win. Taylor
And he'll
gets
check
it
this one down
off.
to McCoy. And he's able
Only
to get
gets
out to the 32.
7
Brought
yards
down
there, and hurry up.
It's a gain of 7, and that'll bring up 2nd down. And quickly they get to the line. He's back to throw.
Gets rid of it. First down and a little bit more.
It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Hurry up mode. Minute 5 counting.
Surveying
Bills.
the field.
Taylor all day and all night throws it down the middle of the field, and it is incomplete.
The collision there jarred the ball loose.
2nd and
brings
10.
up 2nd down.
On every offensive coordinator, every play
58
caller sheet,
seconds left
they
in the
have
game.
about 5 or
I
6
mean,
plays
Taylor,
per
he
game
has
that
the
they call
arm.
shot plays or big plays.
I
And they don't get
mean,
many opportunities
this
to
could
dial
come
it up,
down
and they
to
just
a
did.
Hail Mary.
And they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
They'll look to
Taylor,
throw.
plenty of time yet again. Throws it down the middle of the field. It is tipped in the air. 3rd and 10. 52 seconds left. It doesn't look
And when all
good
else fails
for
as a
the
defender,
Bills.
when you're not there in the
Thing
coverage,
is, they just need a
your
first
best
down to
friend
keep the
is
drive
exactly
alive.
what we saw there.
Just a
Big
little
tough
high,
shot
tipped
taken
in
by
the air.
offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
Almost, and it would have been a spectacular catch on the Bills side. Oh, you hear the gong in the
So
background.
Still a full 10 yards to go here for the offense on 3rd down.
They just got to get to the 49 for a first down.
Back to throw.
Play action, plenty of time
He's
yet
got
again.
time in the
Throws it
pocket.
down the field
Now a
once more.
desperation throw deep
Oh!
downfield. Brandon Tate was the intended receiver. And
Just
4th down coming
Just
up.
try and hit that home run
From
ball.
experience is that when the deep ball
They
is
don't need to
thrown
hit that
and you're
home
the
run ball
defender,
quite yet. They
you
have
gotta fight that
46
little bit of
seconds now.
panic that emerges. You
They
gotta
need,
play the ball really
it's
well.
4th
It's a
and 10.
50-50 jump
They
ball
just need
play.
10 yards to
And guess
keep the
what?
drive
They took a
alive.
shot. How are you
The
gonna
question
win it? In
becomes,
this
will they
case, they
aim
managed
for
to get it
keeping the
done.
drive alive, or will they go for the home run ball? You go for the single,
And
or
down
do you
by
go for the
5,
home
they've
run?
gotta Go for it here on 4th down.
Game is on the line. No time. Oh, and a
Now
false
flags will
start
come in.
penalty.
One of the Bills got going a little early.
That's now it's 4th and 15. Just another, shot in the foot. 4th and 15. Need at least 15 yards to keep the drive alive. But it doesn't look good. I would be impressed. I would be shocked. I would be surprised if they get the first down. Under pressure. He gets it. Oh! And it was in and out of the hands of the receiver. And that shall do it. Buffalo 18, Los Angeles 23 at the moment.
Let's just say that with that call,
it would have been a first down if he hung on to it. Rex Ryan, yet again, loses. Los Angeles looks like they'll hang on, win 4 in a row, and the Cinderella team continues. They take over on down at their own at the Buffalo's 34, 42 seconds left. One kneel down will do it. Victory formation. Case Keenum takes the snap, takes the knee, and we have the clocks are in unison. They might take one more knee to play it safe. But you never know. Botch snap. But anyways, there's your final.
That should be the ball game. And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf.
We'll see. We'll see how this turns out in real life. Buffalo loses by 5. LA keeps their keeps it going. It will be interesting to see how accurate this game comes out. I'm hoping Madden goes to 3-3 and keeps on rolling, because I'd rather see Madden get it right than get it wrong, and show that, hey, it is any given Sunday. So here are some of the highlights from the game. Bills just couldn't get that opportunity. They had a few great long passes for touchdowns, but some missed ones too that would have sealed the deal on their behalf.
That'll do it for us, for Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew.
Big difference maker, 2 takeaways on the Rams' behalf.
For more, find us
But
on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. The Rams are victorious here as we say so long from Exposition Park in LA.
So there you go. There you have it. Los Angeles wins 23-18. That's it for this week. Tune in next week to see the game of the week and who Madden believes is going to win. And hopefully, I have a winning record when it comes to my picks. So until then, see ya. Thank you. Good night.